Stephen A. Smith went on the Joe Budden show and said that Shannon Sharpe was forced to leave Undisputed. First, we were told that Shannon Sharpe wanted to leave Undisputed because his relationship with Skip Bayless was over. But now we're finding out that it was actually FS1 that wanted to get rid of Shannon. Take a look at this.
The second that Shannon became available, and I like that you did this, by the way.
Right.
I like that you, hey,
right.
I make no qualm, I would like him over here. I like that for the business. But for the Skip stuff, I was like, oh, no, that's a jab. That hurts. You're going to go after the co-host so soon. You didn't care.
I didn't look at it that way.
Got it.
I would have looked at it that way if Shannon left of his own volition. I'm telling you he didn't. I'm telling you he was pushed out.
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Well, I'm telling you, and it's fact. Now, they could deny it. He wouldn't. I can promise you that. He was pushed out. He didn't want to leave. He was notified that your services would no longer be needed. But again, that's his story to tell.
Course.
But I'm telling you what I know. I'm giving you facts. It wasn't just that I knew that he had been doing television the last 6 years. I saw me from the standpoint of I was let go in 2009 and left for dead. And they were writing my epitaph, and they were like, Stephen A's career's over. He blew it. He had the opportunity of a lifetime. He effed it up and blah, blah, blah. There was nobody in the present-day Stephen A. Smith position as the guy in sports media, as the executive producer for the #1 sports morning show that could speak up for me at that time. And I said, this is why I'm here. It's my responsibility. So, it's nothing new. I'm at a point in time where if I don't want you on First Take, you ain't coming on First Take.
That's it.
And if I don't want you on First Take and you ain't coming on First Take, the likelihood is that you're going to have a problem getting on television because that's the #1 morning show. And if Stephen A ain't feeling you for that show, why should we feel you for X, Y, and Z show?
Not only did Stephen A. say this, but Shannon Sharpe also admitted it on his Club Shay podcast.
Because I'm racking my brain. I'm like, what did I do? Did I say something? Did I offend somebody? I mean, I think I'm doing a great job. She said, be at peace with it.
Yeah. And that's what I told you.
You did.
That's what I told you. Because the reality of the situation is that, I'm not going to apologize. Listen, I got a lot of friends over there. All right? We all know that. I know a lot of people. But that don't mean that what happened to you was fair. Plain and simple. Okay? That ain't the end of the world.
Nope.
But it is what it is.
But I think it's important to mention that this is very different from Stephen A. leaving ESPN in 2009. Stephen A. became known as a pain in the ass. He even admitted this. As a result, ESPN offered him less money than he was already making, so he left ESPN. But because he had a bad reputation, it became hard for him to find a job. This is nothing like Shannon Sharpe. Not only did everyone blame Skip Bayless for Shannon Sharpe leaving, but Shannon already had plenty of offers. He signed his Club Shay podcast to Colin Cowherd's The Volume, and he easily could have went somewhere else other than ESPN. When Stephen A. left ESPN, everyone knew it was his fault. Another important part that Stephen A. is leaving out, he said that no one in the business had his back, and that's why he stuck up for Shannon Sharpe. Stephen A., Skip Bayless had your back. He's the reason you went on First Take in 2012 when you returned to ESPN. Skip Bayless went to the higher-ups at ESPN and said that he wanted Stephen A. Smith on First Take. That was his guy.
That wanted to throw my brother Stephen A. a little bit of a lifeline. I wanted to get him back in the door in Bristol. No more New York radio, LA radio. He belonged in Bristol. And so I was hoping to reel him back in, get him back in the good graces of the big bosses so that he could, again, rise and shine the way he was meant to do at ESPN.
They were hesitant at first because of what happened in 2009, but Skip Bayless eventually convinced them to let Stephen A. join him on First Take. Why is Stephen A. leaving this out? What it sounds like to me is Stephen A. is rewriting history to make it seem like no one has ever helped him, and that's why he's helping other people, when in reality, it's the opposite. Stephen A. is able to help others because there was someone like Skip Bayless that helped him in the beginning. We don't have to like Skip Bayless or agree with how he treated Shannon Sharpe, but there is no denying that the beginning of Stephen A.'s career was heavily influenced by Skip Bayless. I think Stephen A. is leaving that out because when it comes to Shannon Sharpe, he doesn't want to be associated with Skip Bayless. But that's just what I think. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Stephen A. Smith saying that Shannon Sharpe was forced to leave Undisputed. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more content just like this, and I will see you in the next upload.